Welcome back. Still tuned in to Salam Media, and I was still sticking with the theme of Lebanon. And as I mentioned before we went to the break, we'll be speaking to Farhana Malek, Regional Fundraising Coordinator. And we'll be speaking about their efforts, the Islamic Relief's effort and response to the current ongoing crisis and humanitarian, crisis essentially that has left thousands displaced. And we'll hear from her what you can do and how you can assist those affected in Lebanon. And Farhana is joining us via our virtual platform. Farhana, assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for joining us on Salam Media. Really appreciate you giving us your time.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for giving us the time to promote the catastrophic disaster that's going on at the moment.
No, definitely. And I think, first and foremost, I think that can be, our point of departure. If you can just provide us with an update on the current humanitarian crisis and situation in Lebanon, from how you guys have assessed it following the recent aggression by the Israeli genocidal machine that continues, killing thousands and destroying infrastructure unabated and with, impunity, essentially.
Well, I mean, considering the intense airstrikes that have been recently targeting residential areas, there's so far at least 560 people killed, 50 of which are children. There's over 1,835 people who have been injured, and this is all according to the Lebanese Ministry of Health. The bombardment has displaced over 10,000 people, with families heading to Beirut and other areas, most not actually knowing where they're going. So we also have schools which have been turned into temporary shelters, well, in pretty much any place, because the people there are totally overwhelmed. The schools themselves are overwhelmed and are in desperate need of food, hygiene kits, water, our basic necessities. The hospitals, particularly in the south and east, are stretched beyond their limits. They have actually stopped surgery on, except for, of course, urgent surgery, and have halted all of that so they can accommodate the people who are injured there and treat them as best as possible. However, the medical facilities there and the ambulance as well have been targeted. And this, obviously exacerbating the crisis at the situation at the moment. So the need there is urgent. It is growing on a daily basis.
And how has Islamic Relief responded to some of these needs? And most importantly, how can South Africans get involved in supporting some of these efforts?
Well, first of all, you need to also realize we have been in Lebanon since 2006. So we have offices there, and we're on the ground immediately, swiftly mobilizing our resources there to help these displaced families. So far, I think we've distributed about 3,403 food packages, 2,273 hygiene kits, and we are also supplying medical supplies to the hospitals who are treating these patients. In addition, obviously, there's non-food items which are needed, hygiene kits, water. We are trying to supply these to the schools and areas that are temporarily housing these displaced people. Our team on the ground are working in the most urgent areas, which are Nebatia, Tyre, Bekaa, and Baalbek, where most of the internally displaced people are. Islamic Relief is also working with the local authorities and organizations to get the best and effective response to these people. Our local donor community can help by supporting our efforts. We have on our website a Lebanon emergency appeal. Our contribution is desperately needed, and this will help life-saving aid, food, medical supplies, and shelters to these people in this devastating area. Whether your donations once off or ongoing, every cent counts and is really very needed. So please go onto our website and donate whatever you can. Every cent counts.
No, definitely. And I think, if there's something that has always been interesting for me, and maybe you can assist in helping answer, and I think, a lot of people would also be interested in knowing is, Islamic Relief usually works in some very, very difficult circumstances. Other areas are very, very remote. How does this happen? How are you guys able, to infiltrate these areas and have a footprint on the ground, and make sure that much needed aid is dispersed to those that are in need?
Well, we are the only Islamic organization who are part of the United Nations. And that gives us access to areas which other organizations can't or we are not allowed into. We also work with all the other organizations on the United Nations, like in Palestine with the food aid programs as well. So we have access to areas that not all organizations do.
No, I think that's very, very, very interesting, and it shows that you guys are very, very committed to be in these places. But just lastly, before I let you go, what are some of the events that you guys have lined up, whether in Durban or here in Johannesburg, that our listeners and those watching at home can be involved in and contribute directly, in assisting those that are affected by this very, very devastating, turn of events by the Israeli occupying forces?
Well, I'm a fundraiser for Durban. So at the moment, we have, and we obviously try to think outside the box fundraising and get people to have fun while supporting these amazing causes. We have the amazing race coming up on the 5th of October. Super, super fun. I don't know if you've seen it on TV. I'm sure most
Yeah.
people have. But we're starting at Barnall, Florida Fields in Durban. It's in the Morningside and Musgrave areas. So it's groups of people, 4 to 5, over 16, 4 to 5 people. So pretty much it's activities and tasks where you challenge um, problem solving, your teamwork, physical activities. It's a loads and loads of fun. Um, Figure out the clues, find the next area to go to, lots of surprises, rewards in between, all of that as well. You navigate through checkpoints. It's physical and mentally, but it's also a race against time. So it's a lot of fun. So whether you're a competitive person, just active, just want to get out for the day for fun, it's going to be an absolutely amazing experience. You can register by Cricket. It's 1,000 rand per team, so it's 4 to 5 people over 16 because you do need a car and you need to drive around as well. And all the money goes towards Islamic relief. It's absolutely amazing event. You must be a part of it.
No, definitely. I think that is a very, very brilliant idea, and I know a lot that would like to get involved. We are in spring. The weather is looking beautiful, and what better way to contribute to those that are in need, whilst getting time out with family and friends, and
Yes.
enjoying yourself also. So I think that's brilliant. And just lastly, contact details, social media platforms, those that would like to get hold of you. How can they go about it?
Everything's available on our Islamic Relief South Africa website. All our information for the events are via Cricket.
All right, there you have it.
Please,
So
please join us. It's besides the fact that the money is going to an awesome cause, we are going to
yeah.
have so much fun together.
No, definitely. And we'll be sure to share some of those details of how people can get involved and how can they get hold of you guys. But we're going to leave it here for now, Farhana. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Salam.
There you have it. That was Farhana Malek, Regional Fundraising Coordinator at Islamic Relief South Africa. Yeah, go out there. If you're in Durban, hey, an amazing race, challenge. Funds go to a good cause. Have a great, beautiful day with the family outside. The weather is getting better. And yeah, instead of talking, moping, tweeting, just do something about it. Contribute physically, and make sure that those that are, affected by this do get some kind of reprieve. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll shift our focus to right here in Africa, where, heartbreaking news again. Devastation in Maiduguri, and this is a region in Nigeria where floods have displaced over 400,000 people and have claimed at least 24 lives in a humanitarian crisis. Nigeria-based Doctors Without Borders Director Carsten Noko will be providing us insight on what happened in that part of the world. More on that after this short break. You're still listening to News and Views.